back. Our next guest, Amanda Holden, has released her debut album and she's chosen to sing about something very close to her heart. Her song, With You, plays tribute to her son, Theo, who she lost in 2011. And Amanda joins us now. Hi, Amanda.
Hi, how are you, Kaye?
Yeah, we're all good, thanks, Amanda. I mean, your album is Songs from the Heart, and I know they all have a story attached to them, but that one in particular, very much from the heart. Can you tell us a little bit more about why you chose it and why it's so important to you?
Yeah, it's from Ghost the Musical, and it's about grief and it's about loss, and it's one of my favourite ever songs. And when I sang it, it was actually Chris, my husband, who floored me one afternoon when he said, the last two lines of that song really remind me of how I felt when we lost Theo. And I've been very vocal about how I felt, and Chris has been quite typically male, and he's been really strong and kind of gathered around the family, looked after me. But we talked about it, but he never really showed his emotions because he just wanted to just be that tower of strength. And so when he actually shared that with me, it really knocked me for six. And so it's for Theo, and it's how I think people feel when they lose somebody, or if they, had a terrible time like we did. It does. It takes your world away from you. It takes everything away from you. You never forget, but you gradually move forward.
And when the two of you react in a different way, that can sometimes complement each other, or it can sometimes be difficult. It sounds like you and Chris did react differently.
Yeah, and I've said with me and Chris, we're like the plus and a minus on a battery. You couldn't really do without each other. It wouldn't work if you didn't have, two double A's up the wrong way around, if you know what I mean. Gosh, that's an old picture.
Sorry, Amanda.
Yeah. That's all right. We're very, very different people, and for us, our relationship works because of that. Chris is a lot more considered and a lot sort of quieter, and I'm definitely kind of more out there, and I'm more like a sort of, if you arrive at my house, I'm like a dog. I will literally paw and lick you, and Chris will stand back and have a nice chat with you. That's sort of how I like to describe us.
Amanda, you both understandably were diagnosed with PTSD after losing Theo, and you sought therapy, but you said that you both got different things out of that and the time that you went. Can you just tell us about that?
Yeah, it was, for me, I wanted to take Chris because we were using each other too much for our sorrow and our grief. We kind of ran out of tools, I suppose you would say, in how we could help each other. And we needed another voice to kind of sit there and say, well, have you tried this, or would you like to consider this? And for me, it was amazing. Chris came brilliantly, just because to get him there was amazing, and immediately felt a lot better and sort of said, okay, right, well, I know what I'm doing, and never came back. And I went for a few more sessions and found the tools within myself, I think, to help myself and be able to sort of help him and our daughter Lexi at the time, who thankfully, most of it went over her head because she was only 5, but it was definitely a brilliant thing for us both to do. And I can't talk enough about how important it is to talk. And Denise, you're very much like me. We talk all the time. And I think if you've got that kind of that personally helps me generally anyway. But the therapist was obviously qualified and able to give me different things in a way so I could handle things better.
Sure. Amanda, for anybody watching this who has been through something similar, however that loss came about, what would your advice be to them on how to move forward and, just function?
Gosh, I mean, it's so difficult, Jane, because everyone reacts in different ways. I mean, I felt, because my loss was a baby that sort of never made it to earth, I had to find a kind of quite a spiritual way around it, which I did, and I was able to sort of create this whole little scenario in my head, in that my baby, chose me for the moment that he came down and wasn't he wasn't meant to be, if you will. So I was able to kind of make a sort of a very positive story out of it and make him into a gift to me. And very thankfully, I was blessed with Holly, my now 8-year-old, who came pretty soon after. I think anyone that's lost somebody quickly or, you know, unexpectedly, it's a cliche, but you can literally only take one day at a time, and you have to force yourself to think of the good things and the lessons to be learned. Not lessons, but it's what you can learn from it, what you can take from it, and just gather everyone around you. I held on very tight to Chris and my family, and that was one of the things that the doctor said at the hospital. They just said, hang on tight to each other, because this is a really bumpy road. So if you're lucky enough to have people you love around you or family around you, you have to talk to them and you have to hold on tight to them and not be frightened to be vulnerable, and also not be frightened you want people to talk to you. I think that's the worst thing about grief, is people never know what to say. Yeah. And I always encourage people to talk to me about it. I was just like, you ask me anything, it's totally fine. But that's me, and it's not everyone's thing. So.
Well, and that's what I think is very key about what you say there, Amanda. Everyone is different. Everyone does deal with these, traumas in their life in a different way, and we have to let everyone deal with it in the way that is best for them.
There's right or wrong, and I think however you react to anything is the right way for you. Yeah. So you can't be judged on it.
No. Well, listen, thanks so much for speaking to us. I mean, I know it's very, very personal to you, and we really do appreciate it. If you have been affected by anything we've been discussing with Amanda and Dr. Rosanna Allen-Khan, please head to our website, where you'll find lots of helplines and advice.